Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Discount Opinions podcast. Today we are doing our top 10 comedies from 1990s. My name is Mark. This is my co-host Stan.
How's it going?
And, oof, bruv, I don't know about you, but this was so hard to put together. Like we could
It was
almost
Go ahead.
we could almost do a top 10 for every year of the 1990s. There's like the 90s are possibly the peak of cinema. There's so many just amazing movies released.
Yeah, everyone was just letting things. It was funny. Back when funny was funny.
Yeah, yeah. They were willing to push the envelope a little bit, and
Yes.
also I'm fairly sure everyone was actually bought into the world ending in Y2K.
That could be a thing.
So they just
That's it.
pushed out all the good. Bruh, there's no other explanation for just looking at 1999 and how many great movies were released.
A lot.
All right, well, let's hop right into it. If you're new, we go 10 to 1. Before 1, we do honorable mentions, standard formatting. And let's start with number 10.
Number 10. Okay. So this is Waterboy. It was released 1998. This movie is the greatest movie of all time. Not the greatest movie of all time. It's
Greatest
one of the
movie of all
greatest.
time. To be at number 10, like if it was the greatest movie of all time, it should be a little higher.
Bro, we say this every time. Our top 10s could be number ones straight through 10s. And in some lists, our top 20s and then beyond could be these are number ones. But this is one of the greatest movies of all time. This is The Water Boy. It was, bro, this movie, mad unforgettable quotes. Um from you just hear people everywhere be like, my mama said, my mama said, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Good quotes. And when the coach is making fun of him, you this movie just brings from beginning to end a wide range of this is what it might be like to live in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like it was
absolutely.
so wellly done. But yeah, that's
Absolutely.
my number 10.
In fact, I'd probably put it up as possibly Adam Sandler's best comedy. Like from not his funniest movie, but as far as beginning to end great movie, Waterboy's got to be up there.
It's definitely up there. I wouldn't it's up there. Most of his movies are like that. I don't think I've seen a bad movie from him. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't sit back and
Mm,
recall a bad movie. I
I
can.
can. I can
Which movie?
recall a few.
All right,
Wait,
but yeah,
hold on.
that was my number 10. He's
All
looking it
right.
up.
So my number 10 is Clerks,
Clerk
1994.
94.
94 coming in strong. A Kevin Smith classic, launched his whole career, made it on $10,000 of credit card debt. Great
Wow.
movie.
Low budget
Fantastic movie.
film.
Made you hate your job the next day. In fact, it's not the only movie on this list that made you hate your job the next day.
Word. Everybody wanted to work in a store.
Yeah. All right. Number 9.
I included this as a series because there's multiples of this released in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Austin Powers.
Ah.
This one, which was funny because of what you said with the Y2K thing, was also released in 1999.
Oh, I know. I know.
Which is hilarious that you said that. 1999. And it's just like this movie was pure chaotic silliness from start to finish.
Start to finish.
start to finish. Like Mike Myers, he did a fantastic job playing multiple roles across all the movies, all of them memorable. Fat Bastard, Doctor Evil, Fat Bastard, Austin Powers.
Goldfinger.
He did play Goldfinger. Oh my god, I almost forgot. But I didn't want to include that one because that one came in '02.
Ah, yeah.
So
Okay.
because two of them came out in the '90s,
You're
but
right.
the third one came out in '02. But it's still a part of the series, so it's still good. But yeah, it just provided that '90s style comedy right after another, and that's when like everything was funny because it was just funny, no limits.
No limits.
But yeah, that's my number 9.
It did not make my list, but it is in my honorable mentions.
Word.
Yeah, it was close. It was definitely close. It was actually rivaling this next movie, which is Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Have you seen Galaxy Quest? I actually don't know.
Hold on. I don't think I have. Well, no. That's the one with the robot, right? No, that's not the. No, I don't think I have, buddy.
Oh,
I don't think I have.
it's Tim Allen. It's basically a spoof of Star Trek. So Tim Allen, shoot, I can't remember the other actors' names at the moment, but basically they were in a show that was super popular, and the show is basically a ripoff of Star Trek: New Generation. Like, to the point of the one of the pilots having a visor that helps him see because he's blind. Like, it's 100%. This is the characters from Star Trek: A New Generation, and they're at a Comic-Con, and aliens show up and abduct them, and they take them to a spaceship, which is a 1-for-1 recreation of their ship from the show. And they need them to save their civilization, because out in space, they picked up the broadcast of their TV show, and they thought it was real. And so it's these actors who have grown to hate the property that they were in because it has completely taken over their careers, and they're being forced by these aliens to become the characters that they were in the TV show. It's hilarious.
That sounds funny. I might have to watch that. I think I know what you're talking about. As you explained it, I think I may have seen it, but it's probably been a minute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your mom has the movie somewhere. Yeah. I remember seeing it in the VHS collection, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's gone.
Is it? I mean, makes sense.
She had me one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great one, right by the front door.
I think she might have them. I don't want to tell you that it's gone, but I think they're packed away somewhere deep. Yeah. I ain't seen them in a minute.
That makes sense. Who even has a VHS player anymore?
She does.
I knew it. My dad's got one too for his 10 VHS movies that he still holds on to. I mean, honestly, I got rid of my VHS player in like 2013. Like, held on to it way longer. It was after 3 moves of just moving this thing that was never plugged in and never used, because we only had 5 VHSs. And finally I was like, you know what? Why am I holding on to this? I just got a digital copy of the movies and got rid of it.
Yeah.
Like everybody else on the planet.
Word.
Number 8.
Number 8. Number 8. Yeah, this one, this is why I laughed. Another 1999 movie. American Pie. Which is American Pie. You know American Pie.
Of course. It's a staple of our teenage years.
It is hilarious from start to finish. I mean, everyone in the cast, they played the hell out of their roles every movie, and it's just like You watch it while you're in high school, and then you're like, oh man, high school is fun. It makes you feel like high school is fun. And even when the cast get older and they go off to college, and I mean, we kind of sort of lived a life.
I was going to say, I mean, our lives during that period weren't too far off from those movies.
Yeah, which is why this movie's here on number 8. But that's my number 8.
It's actually crazy because those movies are half of the reason why when I got to college, I absolutely hated it, because I was expecting American Pie, and all I got was, hey, does anyone want to get together for a study party? And I'm just like, a what?
It probably was gonna turn into a party.
Nah, bruh, it was at the library.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
All right. Office Space.
Haven't seen it.
You've never seen Office Space?
Should I Google it right now?
I mean, you can.
I can't.
1999, again.
This is wild.
Basically, there's this guy, Peter Gibbons, who works in an office company called Initech, and absolutely a corporate drone. Every day his boss gives him crap. Every day, every weekend, they try to call him into work, and one day he just absolutely gets over it, and he refuses to work overtime anymore. He starts just playing games at his desk, not even doing his job. And while he's doing this, these guys come in, advisors, to reshape the company and get it back on track. And he comes in, it's one of the greatest things. He comes in, he sits down, he's half in his pajamas. They had to call him because he didn't show up for work. And he just sits down, puts his feet up on the table, and was like, "What's up?" And they start trying to do a performance review with him, and the whole time he's like, "You know what, I don't care." And finally, they finish up, he leaves, and they're just like, "Wow. What's his name again? That guy needs to be put on management." And then him and his co-workers hatch a scheme from Superman 3 to take pennies off of every transaction, or like parts of pennies off of every transaction, and then put them into account for them to make money off of the company without being caught. Problem is, they messed up the decimal point. So instead of taking parts of pennies, it started taking dollars and hundreds of dollars. It's so good. It's a great movie. If you've ever seen, it's been parodied like 1,000 times, but the guy's in a field beating up a printer.
No, great. I haven't seen it, but I googled the movie. I know of the movie.
Yeah.
They're just speaking. I'd never seen it, but I've you've seen clips of things here and
there.
there.
Exactly. Totally iconic movie.
Wow. Now I have to watch it.
Yes, you do. All right, number 7.
Number 7. South Park. Bigger, longer, uncut. This movie is amazing. This movie was amazing. This is one of the greats. Because it came in a time that if you saw it as a child, and not a lot of parents knew about South Park, but this is where we learned the swear words from. Which is bad to say. That is not true. But it's a wild movie. It's a very wild movie. It's it's from one of the greatest shows ever, still running to this day. But it was the movie, and this is where I learned about South Park. I'd never seen an episode of South Park until after I watched this movie, and I don't know if that's like the movie came first or after, or whatever. But I think the show was out first before they made a movie. But
the show was out first, and then because the show started in 90. 2007, I believe, and then 2 years later they put out the movie.
which is crazy. 1999, this movie came out, which is also funny. But yeah,
I'm telling you.
South Park. That's my movie.
Oh, I hear you. It was so I didn't watch that particular movie until um, high school, because I didn't start watching South Park until high school. I watched Family Guy, my whole life, but South Park was on Comedy Central, and we didn't have cable.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. However, the movie way better than the beginning of the series. Like, I didn't start really vibing with South Park until around like 2011, 2012. It started getting decent, and then in 2014, 15, the show became amazing. Became great. And since then, it has stayed peak content. Like, whereas Family Guy, the longer it went, it kind of got worse. And there's a definite dividing line around season 12, where they moved from how many jokes can we pack into the show, which was what made it so good, to, okay, we're going to do a solid storyline all the way through. And they did it not as well.
Yeah.
Because South Park made the same change, they just did it way better. Because they're a direct mirror of life and what is going on a daily basis. Whereas Family Guy is just Family Guy.
Just Family Guy.
The greatest joke ever in the history of Family Guy was in season 1, where Peter went, it's about like, no. It's like that time that I forgot how to sit down. And then he walks into the room and launches himself at the chair across the room. Peak freaking comedy. Joke nearly killed me. I laughed so hard I couldn't breathe.
So stupid.
Also, on my honorable mentions. Your last 3 have been in my honorable mentions.
That's crazy.
Yep. All right, number 7, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood.
Yes. I debated between putting South Park here or Robin Hood Men in Tights. But I just... Mel Brooks. That's it. Mel Brooks. So your standard Robin Hood story, for those of you that haven't seen it. Injected with a lot of comedy. A lot of fourth wall breaks. A lot of obviously being recorded in a studio. Just great movie. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It's the icon of comedy. In 1993. The first one not in 1999 in a minute.
Right? It's crazy.
Number 6.
Dogma. Dogma.
Great movie.
It's a one fantastic. I think this was the first Jay and Silent Bob movie you showed me. Was it?
Was it?
I think so.
No.
No. Wait. No.
Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. Yeah, that was the first one that we watched together.
Yeah. This one came shortly after that.
I'm pretty sure it was the next day we watched Dogma. It might have been the same day. I mean, you know how we did movies back then.
Religiously.
I would argue Dogma is Kevin Smith's best movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall best movie.
I can agree to that. Yeah. But yeah, 1999. That's when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy, but it's a solid movie. Funny from beginning to end. No.
Got Ben Affleck, Matt Damon doing their thing together.
Always. Yeah, that was Wonderful combination. They work so well together. So, but it's
Oh,
this is my
everyone cast in that movie was perfect for the part that they were given.
good old Miramax.
Chris Rock murdered that part. So
Right.
good. You knew Jesus? Knew him. Still owes me $20.
Yeah.
Such a great line.
All right, that was mine.
All right, my number 6 is Waterboy.
Word.
Yeah,
That's nice.
got a little bit
Love
of
that
a
movie.
better treatment on my list.
Better treatment.
4 higher. Wait,
That's crazy.
can I count?
This is my first one.
Yeah, 4 higher. Yeah, and we already talked about it, but great movie.
Word. It is a wonderful movie. Super hilarious.
Number 5.
Number 5. Oh my God. So I struggled with the top 5 yet again. They are all good, but this one, Friday needed to be on this list. Friday needed to be on this list. Did you forget about Friday? You totally forgot about Friday. This man, no, he didn't. Yeah.
Needless to say, I have a new honorable mention. How could I forget Friday? How could I
Oh,
forget
man.
Friday? They gonna revoke my black card.
Hey, just in case y'all forgot about Friday, this came in 95. It's a great movie. Oh my God, it's one of the funniest movies. This movie is hilarious. Just heavily quoted movie from everyone who's ever seen it. If you see it, you will love it.
Oh, absolute classic. Absolute classic. In fact, it was I earlier ran across a short where they turned it into a musical.
What?
Yes. Hold on. You gotta see it. It is great.
Productions presents Friday the Musical.
How much you got left? Man, I got a lot. It still ain't so that weed smoky. But I'm trying to earn. Niggas have been
What the hell?
I don't think you apply yourself, Smokey. You smoking my shit? Hell no. Mess with your shit? Hell no. You smoking my shit? Bang, 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 bang. Don't wanna have to mess you up, Smokey. But playing my money like playing with my emotions. You know you're the last brother's money I'd ever mess with. I'd steal from my mama before I mess with your shit. And you know this, man.
Film not yet ready. Coming to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
You gotta send this to me, please.
Oh, I
This
got
needs
you.
to be shared with the public.
Bro, it needs to be shared with everyone. It is
It needs to be
amazing.
shared to the public. Holy crap, that was crazy. I was mesmerized.
Right? Can't believe I forgot Friday.
I
That is-
can't. Oh,
That is genuinely hurting me right now. How many times I've watched all those movies? It's a disaster. Absolute disaster.
word. Now, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is My Blue Heaven.
Never heard of it.
What a shame. Steve Martin plays a gangster, and he turns witness protection against the mob, and so they put him in witness protection and move him to this little suburb way out in the middle of nowhere, and he just can't stop being a criminal. But as in witness protection, you can't be a criminal. So using his new identity, he starts running all the old games that he used to run as
It's crazy.
a mafioso. Meanwhile, you got Rick Moranis, who is his his handler, and he talks him into getting a life and actually having fun for a change, and it's great. He basically takes over an entire town, all while keeping the government from finding out about it. Great movie. Great movie.
That's crazy.
It had one of the greatest jokes of my childhood. I didn't get it until I got older. What's the difference between a pregnant lady and a light bulb?
What?
You can unscrew a light bulb.
Oh my god. Why did I think?
Didn't get that joke. Wasn't supposed to be watching the movie at the age that I did. And we were sitting in a Shoney's with my oldest brother's girlfriend was with us. And I don't know how we got on the topic, but we got on the topic of what's funny and what's not funny. And in the movie, Steve Martin's character uses that as a joke for the chick that Rick Moranis' character is trying to go out with, because he's like, she's not funny, and then he tells her the joke and she just stares at him blankly, and he went, see, no sense of humor. So we're sitting at the table and I tell the joke as a barometer.
Oh my god.
In front of my parents and this basic stranger, because it was like the first time we met her, I believe it was. She lost her shit though. She laughed so hard, and I was like, okay, great joke. My mom lost it though.
I bet. I bet.
Oh,
I would have
so
lost.
good.
Oh my god. I would have laughed because
Right?
That's hilarious.
Right? So good. Number 4.
Number 4. Don't be a menace. Oh my god. And to South Central. This Wayne's movie is amazing. Beginning to end.
Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing else to say about it. It's one of the, I guess you could call it a hood classic, but you know, it's a Wayne classic. That's what they do. When they get together, they are just simply hilarious. But that's my number 4.
The scene with the nuclear bomb in the back of the truck.
Do we got a problem? Do you?
The greatest cinema scenes of all time. I
He
said,
just
dude,
pulled out a dude.
we have a problem.
Oh my god, yes. Pulled that nuke out of nowhere. Oh, we ain't got a problem. I would have been done with the problem when he pulled out the RPG.
Right?
Like
Done.
this is over with.
Over with.
No, he had to show him, hey man, I'm strapped.
Oh, also, My Blue Heaven, oldest movie on the list, 1990.
That one came out on 96.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, in my honorable mentions. And yet somehow I forgot Friday.
I don't understand that. That's crazy. I'm telling your wife. I'm telling you.
Don't tell my wife. She's gonna be mad at me.
It'll be all right. She's gonna laugh at you.
All right, my number 4 is Dogma.
Dogma.
That high, yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah. I love that movie. Kevin Smith is another director that I love almost everything he's put out. The last decade's been a little weird. Ever since he got into podcasting as his main gig, movies have been a little weird. And that horror movie phase he went through is just interesting. I still watched them all. Still enjoyed the first one that I don't remember the name of at the moment, and it's going to drive me crazy. Red State. Okay, I knew it was Red something. Red State, great movie. Great movie.
War.
His follow-up of The Walrus, or sorry, Tusk. Frickin' weird. That was a weird movie. I made somebody watch it at one point, and they proclaimed that they would never trust me to have them watch a movie again. And I don't blame them. It's a weird movie. It is crazy. Have you ever seen Tusk? Know anything
No.
about it? So, takes place in Canada. It's about a guy who kidnaps people, and instead of killing them like he kills them eventually. So he's a serial killer, but he turns them into walruses first because he was in the Navy and he fell off a ship and was stranded, and he met a walrus and fell in love with it.
What?
And thus now he kidnaps people and turns them into walruses because he's still
Yeah,
in love with
okay.
them. Yeah, it's a weird movie. It's weird. It is weird. Dogma, though, great movie.
Yeah.
Certifiably.
That's odd.
Certifiably.
You said something. He was like, you gotta watch this movie. That's what you did to him?
No. She wanted to watch a horror flick. So I was like, got you. This movie, terrible. And it's creepy. It's a creepy movie. It's just not... It's not great.
That sounds horrible.
You could argue that. Alright, what's your number 3?
Ace Ventura. Did you forget that?
No, I debated for a long time on Ace Ventura. They are funny.
Hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. And classics. But it took me a minute to like it. First time I watched both of the movies, I hated them.
How?
I don't know.
That sounds like a use the era right there. These
That
movies
is
are great.
exactly what it is, because I love those movies. They're hilarious. First time I watched them, though,
Carrey's amazing.
hated them. Watched them a second time, loved them. I think that's what it was. At the time, it was right around the time that Fun with Dick and Jane came out. And I was done with Jim Carrey at that time.
That's a good movie, too. That movie's funny.
It is. But I was just over Jim Carrey at the time.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I got a few actors like that now. I'm tired of seeing you in movies right now. It's like,
Yeah,
every time I turn around, there's another movie from you.
like I'm done watching The Rock's movies for a while. Especially after he colluded with Kinko's and Office Depot to kidnap that lady.
That's crazy. Is that true?
If you don't know what we're talking about, look up The Rock kidnapping and laugh for an hour. It's a great story.
It's a great story.
So good.
So many people. It's like this. I don't know what LSD smoking guy got that put that out there, but he went into the deep detail with that nonsense. Like, it's crazy.
Okay, so since we're talking about it, instead of moving past, so this female wrestler from back in the 90s accused The Rock of kidnapping her and her children and trying to brainwash them. However, she also accused like 400 other people and entities as being a part of it, including Kinko's, Office Depot, Will Smith, I believe Walmart, Best Buy. It was insane. Like, just the amount.
All of them. I think KFC was on that list.
I'm pretty sure KFC was on the list.
They
I'm pretty
stopped
sure.
to get a 2-piece, and she is suing them because they stopped to get a 2-piece. What a memory!
We laughed for, I kid you not, had to be an hour and a half just reading the list of accomplices in the kidnapping. So great. Almost as funny as Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Almost as funny. I don't know. It was pretty funny. But yeah, Ace, this is a great movie. It's filled with the amount of one-liners, the craziness that Jim Carrey embodies this role. I can't think of any other role that is better, that he played that's better. He did a lot of good roles, but better than Ace Ventura is his to me, the max. This is the greatest he's ever did. What's your number 3?
The movie that, well, also, what year was that, Ace Ventura? That was what?
I included them both, and I just, because there's 2 of them, and they're both in the 90s. The first one came out in 94, and then the second one came out in 95.
That's crazy. That came out in 94. My
Yeah.
next movie, also a Jim Carrey movie, that I would argue is everything you just said. His best role that he absolutely became. Also released in 1994, The Mask.
Bro, The Mask. You're not wrong. That is a great. He was doing everything. He was just doing everything. There was not a role that he wasn't doing.
That's why I stopped and asked you the year, because I was like, hold on. I'm pretty sure Ace Ventura was released in 94.
It was.
But The Mask was also released in 94.
It was. It definitely was. Which is crazy. That just shows you how much work he was doing. But think about it. How much did you really think it cost to make those movies?
I mean, we could look it up, but a couple of mil. Let's see.
That.
Okay,
maybe
so
the second one, because
The Mask was 18 million, but you were asking Pet Detective.
Yeah, maybe the second one was probably way more expensive because it had, professional football players in it.
Oh, that's crazy. 15 million. See, I was going to say around 10 million. Well, hold on. It says... That's weird. It's giving me 2 numbers. So it was either 11 million or 15 million. But that was pretty standard back then for...
a good movie?
Yeah. It's about the right figure. It wasn't until the mid-teens that was like, oh, you only made this movie for 14 million? That's crazy. Like when Deadpool came out, everyone was mind blown. They only spent 14 million on it.
Good writing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's good writing. That's all it was.
In fact, it is a model of good writing. Because you know how I harp on good writing when it comes to media. To the point that they wrote themselves into funnier parts in the movie because of their budget. Because they just couldn't do things. And instead of just ignoring the fact that they couldn't do it, they put the fact that they couldn't do it into the story.
Yeah, many times that 4-4 breaking.
Yep.
That's what Deadpool's loved.
But if you've never seen The Mask, where have you been?
Please watch The Mask.
Please watch it. Hysterical movie. And Cameron Diaz was good in it, which is crazy.
They call me Cuban Pete.
All right. What is your number 2?
The Mask. That's why it was so fucking. That's why it was so funny that you chose The Mask, because I was like, I'm about to lead right into The Mask.
That's crazy.
There's nothing more to be said about it. It's that movie. It's just a good movie. It's hilarious. Hilarious how much I could quote this movie from at any given point. This movie's great. They just allowed that man to be on camera.
Yep.
Part of those,
Yep.
they just had to be like, okay, your whole goal is just be weird in this part. We'll run with it. It's pretty much what they did in all his movies. Just do you.
After a certain point. I mean, after a certain point, that's just where you get as an actor. Like Ryan Reynolds. He now just shows up and he is the character of Ryan Reynolds. And then they put other characters in the movie around him. And that's a movie. You're going to make money. Ever since Deadpool.
I mean, even before Deadpool. He's playing Deadpool. If you know what I mean by that, then you know what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
That he was Deadpool before Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. Then Deadpool, the actual movie, dropped. And killed. Absolutely killed. And it was amazing. They marketed it perfectly as a Valentine's. How do you market a superhero movie as a Valentine's Day movie? Because you make it a joke. I went and saw it on Valentine's Day, like the whole rest of the world. In fact, that theater that I went to, the wife and I got the last 2 seats in the theater. It was the most packed I'd ever been in a theater. The only one that comes close is that night we went to see
Paranormal Activity. You remember that?
Yes.
Brad?
No, that was a great night.
That was it, but it was
seeing this
super
man
packed.
scream like a little girl was fantastic. But the night we went to see Alice in Wonderland. Do you remember that night?
No, I don't.
You don't remember that night? Wait, were you there that night?
No, I don't think so.
You weren't there. Who was? Corey was there.
Corey who?
Corey.
Oh.
I'm not gonna say his last name on camera, but Corey.
Where I know you wouldn't, but there was a way I was like, who?
I only know one of them.
Oh, bad. That's an odd group.
Yeah, so we went opening night. The entire theater there in the theater that you went to in Fayetteville was sold out. We had to see a midnight showing, and there was no parking spaces in the parking lot. We had to park at the McDonald's 2 miles away and walk there. And getting out of that movie at 3 a.m. and walking back to the McDonald's was the most miserable experience I'd ever had seeing a movie. That's why I'm fairly sure you were there. I was pretty sure.
I could have been. I don't remember.
I mean,
I could have just been like, I'm just not going to think about it ever again.
Look, after that night, I wouldn't want to either. It was terrible. Movie was great. Terrible experience.
Yeah. So many cars.
It's also crazy that this is the third list where we've had the same thing as either the same number or right beside each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is just a testament to how good these movies are. My number 2 would be What About Bob?
I think I've seen it.
I didn't think you would have. It's a Bill Murray movie. He plays a hypochondriac with mental problems, and he has every mental problem known to man. And the movie starts with his current psychiatrist calling another psychiatrist, played by Richard Dreyfuss, So that psychiatrist is dumping his entire practice and leaving the country because of Bill Murray's character, because he can't get away from him. And so he calls Richard Dreyfuss' character and is like, hey, I've got a patient. I'm leaving the practice. I was wondering if you could take him. And he says sure, and he takes him on. And the dude is just completely self-involved. He's a celebrity psychiatrist. He's got books and TV appearances and whatnot. So he takes on Bill Murray's character as one of his patients. And so they have one session. And goes good. Anyways, gives him some advice. Take baby steps. And so then Bill Murray's character leaves. And Richard Dreyfuss' character is going on vacation with his family. So they leave the city. They're staying at a lake. And then Bill Murray's character shows up. And over the vacation, the psychiatrist family loves Bill Murray's character. He becomes a member of the family. He stays with them. And all the time, Richard Dreyfuss' character just hates him. He's sabotaging him at every turn. To the point that he tries, well, no spoilers. Great movie, though. Hysterical movie.
That sounds hilarious. Might be that Bill Murray movie I need to watch because, bro, I really don't care for that character. He's a good, like,
it hurts.
I ain't seen him in enough.
You haven't. That's the problem. And it hurts me. It hurts me deep down inside.
You feel bad.
So before we get to our number ones, any honorable mentions?
Any honorable mentions? Bro. Yes, but I left them off the list because it'd just be Ace Ventura movies, not Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey movies, and Adam Sandler movies, back to back to back to back to back. So there's a lot. But they're just probably like Clerks. Of course, Clerks is definitely in there. I'm trying to think. All of Alan Sandler's movies are in there, bro. It's just because they like dominated the 90s. I mean, there's a lot more of my favorites. Liar, Liar, Dumb and Dumber, Wayne's World. Oh, it's tons of honorable mentions in my corner, but I'm satisfied with my list.
Got you. Most of my honorable mentions were on your list. American Pie, Austin Powers, South Park, Don't Be a Menace. Friday added post the beginning of recording. In fact, if I was to go back and make a change, I'd probably replace Clerks with Friday. Maybe. I don't know. I need to debate that with myself for about 35 minutes.
Crazy, you forgot it. It's all right then.
It is crazy. Wayne's World is on my honorable mentions, and then the biggest one that I want to touch on for my honorable mentions is Father of the Bride, 1 and 2, released in 91 and 95 respectively.
Word. Think I've seen it.
It hurt not to have it on this list. I was trying to... I almost just kicked out Galaxy's Quest to put it on it because I have core memories from my childhood around the Father of the Bride movies. It's Steve Martin plays a dad, and in the first movie, his daughter's getting married, and this is his baby girl, and he is 100% against her getting married, but she wants to get married at the house. And he pretty much just goes through a midlife crisis, and it's really funny. And the second movie...
His midlife crisis is funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
that's what tickled me because you said that.
Oh, it's great. And then the second movie, his daughter gets pregnant. And his wife gets pregnant at the exact same time. And yeah, it goes on from there. But just, it's a great character acting movie. Like, all the comedy is just centered around Steve Martin's acting. Because everything else is pretty normal, except that he's freaking out about everything. Great movie. Almost made the list. I really wanted to put it on there.
Sounds like a good movie.
Yeah. It was like my mom's favorite comedy.
That's deep.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Number 1.
Number 1. Happy Gilmore. Number
Great
1.
movie.
It's great. It's
Great movie.
96. Bro, this movie is hilarious. I don't know how this man was able to do this role so great, but this movie is one of the greats. It is just like Waterboy. It is amazing from start to finish. Hilarious. The actors in it, everybody played their role to the. This is one of these movies that is just like great. The way everyone, the casting, the writing, the comedy, one of those, it's just amazing how well everything just flows. Just like Waterboy, everything just flows in Waterboy. This could be happening in the city over in some town. These people. But yeah, that's why it's my number 1. I love this movie.
I hear you. I do love Happy Gilmore. I would say
For sure.
Waterboy is a better movie, though.
Would you though? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Okay,
I don't think
better,
it's a better
movie. 100%.
I don't think it's a better
better
movie.
movie. Funnier? No, Happy Gilmore is funnier. So I suppose then that goes to, what do you grade a comedy off of? Is it just how
that's
funny it is, or how good of a movie it is? Because there are terrible movies that are hilarious, and there are
like,
good
yeah,
movies.
Like Hobbs and Shaw.
Ugh. Don't bring it up.
It's one of the funniest movies of all time.
One day we need to record us watching that movie.
No.
Just trashing it the whole way through.
I can't.
If we're forcing our way through Attack on Titan, we can do that movie. But yes, it is the only Fast and Furious property that I do not acknowledge exists.
Mm-mm. Horrid.
Horrid. Garbage.
Oh, what's your number 1, man?
My number 1 is My Cousin Vinny.
Oh man, we had that conversation
Yesterday. And I told
did.
you it was pretty high up on the list. It was a great movie.
It is a wonderful movie.
Every scene in the movie, a joke hits. There are about 10,000 jokes in the movie, and at least 9,820 hit. I'm not saying every single joke lands, but so many jokes hit so hard. One of the best fish out of water movies ever made. Absolutely hysterical.
Great movie. I need to watch it again.
You do. In fact, we should at some point in the next week sit down and watch it. Because the conversation we had yesterday was, he was saying he doesn't consider it a comedy. And it blew my mind. But the difference is, you haven't seen it in how long?
I don't know.
Yeah. And I watched it 2 weeks ago.
It's fresh on your mind.
Fresh on my mind. Absolutely. But also, bro, movie is so funny.
Yeah, I do need to watch it again.
All right.
That's our list. That's crazy.
That's the list.
That's
it is
the
crazy.
List.
I would say we had the largest amount of differences in this list than we have previously.
Ah man, yeah, but that's almost everything I had on my list was in your honorable mention.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the only
They
big difference
almost made the list.
the movies that you've seen that I haven't seen.
True.
That was like the big thing. But almost every movie, I mean, you just, you've seen more movies, so you had a wider range.
Yeah.
But everything you picked was like, this could have been on the list. Everything I picked, you just like could have been on the list, especially Friday. Jeez, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Still don't
I
understand
could never.
How? Well, then again, I guess that's not actually true because we both had The Mask, we both had Dogma, we both had Waterboy, and Clerks was in your honorable mentions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, 3 out of 10. Just saying.
Word.
Yeah. Which I guess is about par for the course. We generally just put those movies at different numbers. All right. Well, any last words before we wrap up here?
No.
All right. Well, you heard it, folks. You have a great day, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.